so much for joining us today in this next edition of the Fire Up series. It's a founder interview series where we are trying to capture and document some best practice experience that each startup has had, and sharing with the peer community. And in your case, at Proxzar, you were primarily a technology startup, very strong strengths in AI, specifically language-related NLP and other related technologies. And you have explored to see where are there like useful problems, problems worth solving, which NLP can solve. So with that, let's play into that strength. How does one go about that process? If you have a technology strength, how do you find the problems that are worth solving using that technology? So that's the topic for your discussion. So thank you for joining us. And just to get started, if in a couple of minutes, you can first share your journey with Proxzar, and then we can get into the topic.
Yeah, sure. Technically, Proxzar, we started our journey as Proxzar, as an entity, a registered entity in December 2018. My foray into the technology that is behind Proxzar, it started off a few years earlier. To be very honest, actually, it started somewhere around, like, say, 4 or 5 years back. I was actually working on basically trying to understand a certain philosophy. So that philosophy, essentially, I felt it's a kind of a thing that we can actually, how do you put it? Actually facilitate an understanding of what is through a form of a dialogue. So in that context, I want to apply, as a technologist, I want to bring it as a kind of, like, say, a product or a platform. So I started experimenting with IBM Watson Alchemy API. Right now, I think IBM Alchemy API is not there because they bought it over and they call it some conversational AI or something something like that. So what I was actually looking at is my foray into this NLP and the technology, where our actual journey of Proxzar started with experimenting this Alchemy API to see, like, say, given a kind of, like, say, the word or a sentence, what kind of, like, say, the emotion that essentially that sentence is being sentence is conveying to the other listener. So experimenting further, what I thought is that now if I can actually encapsulate it into something like an IP messaging solution. So I was looking at that, and then I connected with Twilio. As a matter of fact, the Twilio, they're just like starting up. The Twilio is the guys who are now, like, say, digital cloud hosted, how do you put it? Digital cloud hosted EPBX platform. They are, like, ruling the world right now. So when they started off, so it was a mix of this kind of, like, say, the emotion or sentiment analysis that is just started off from IBM, and then using this Twilio IP messaging. As a matter of fact, I had a very good, like, say, conversation with the senior product developers, the senior product managers, who really liked my suggestions on how that Twilio itself can actually build that IP messaging channel. So converging both these two, I thought, okay, why can't we actually have a kind of, like, say, a chat kind of an interface? So that's where actually the journey started. After that, while I used to, like, work and try to build some modules using this API and then this Twilio IP messaging channel, and try to build a kind of, like, Android app. That was a few years ago, and on and off, whenever I had a chance to work on it, I used to work on it. And then eventually I thought, why don't we actually, like, start a kind of, like, say, a startup? Basically, essentially, instead of the product, why don't we actually build a platform that can essentially build more such products, more such kind of, like, say, chatbot, or kind of, like, say, chatbot is a very loose word as I understand it right now, because it's all rules based. So instead of using the word chatbot, we said, okay, we'll use something more called as a Q&A systems, or a kind of, like, say, the proxy. So that's when we said, okay, we will have a kind of, like, a platform that essentially helps individual organizations or an influencers to create a kind of, like, say, a proxy of themselves using their to our platform, and then they kind of, like, say, create this kind of a chat kind of an interface, a kind of, like, say, dialogue like an interface where an individual can have a something like a self dialogue. It is more born out of a kind of, like, say, a deeper philosophical understanding, where there is a need for a kind of, like, say, a tool or an instrument through which one can have a self dialogue. So that's where actually the journey started. So now,
how did you find? I mean, once you understood the initial technologies, What were the initial problems that either you came across or you went looking, assuming some domains will have a problem? What were those initial problems you went looking for?
Oh, okay. So now that that's a very good one. Now you have a technology. I have this platform built. Now it is not a product, by the way. It's a platform where I'm going out and I want to tell the user, say, listen, you can actually build your entire content, whatever the text corpus is there. You bring the text corpus to a platform, we build it. Now I have a technology, so now that's where you rightly put the topic, saying technology looking for a problem to solve. So yeah, I think in second quarter of 2018, I went and met to do this concept testing, the market testing, and met around 20 C-level executives belonging to, because I don't know where exactly this kind of like the solution could be used. So I went and met this more than 20 C-level executives in pharma, in IT, and in like the manufacturing, discrete manufacturing, and in healthcare. So I met these guys, just tell them that, hey, listen, we have a platform. So if you're looking for something like a kind of like an interface for you to facilitate a kind of interface for your employees, then this is where you can actually like say build your own kind of like an interface yourself. So that's when I went and met these guys. And the initial response out of 20 people, 19, the C-level executives, and I'm talking about C-level executives, really actually they gave time, and it's a very difficult to even get their time. So they gave their time, and then when I found that it's like it is taking me like not less than 10 to 15 minutes just to make them learn what our platform is. At the time, Proxzar was not branded. At the time, the brand was Learning Bot, and we did incorporate Proxzar. So I have to spend 10 to 15 minutes of my time trying to explain, saying that, hey, listen, this is a platform. You can actually like say bring your own content if you have like say your quality management standards, or if you have anything your Six Sigma, or if you have like say the 5S or a Kaizen. So whatever the kind of like say that content that you have, you just bring it, and then just like that in real time, your employees can ask the question, and then bingo, they'll get a response 24/7. And so what I realized that the two pain points as part of doing the concept testing. One, when as a founder, I myself have to spend nearly 10 to 15 minutes of my time trying to explain what this is. Then I thought, okay, now if I'm trying to hire a sales guy, we'll just run away. So I thought I have to simplify this concept. So for that, what I did is, okay, now then I thought, okay, now we have to simplify this whole in a single word. So it's not just a single word, I have to brand it. So what is a brand that I can come out with? So then after like say deliberations, after like brainstorming with a couple of like say the people, we have come out with this word Proxzar. So it's a Proxzar essentially is a proxy of a czar. Proxy means alias of a czar. Czar as in it's a Russian word. We borrowed Russian word. It means authority. It's a proxy of an authority. Now, if you have like say quality manager or like say marketing manager of an organization, or any technologist or technology specialist working in an organization, if that person wants to facilitate this kind of explain, kind of like say teach what that particular content is all about. Like say, for example, quality management standards. What is the work procedure for a particular guy working in stores? So that person can actually bring all his content, collate the content, and then just like say create a kind of like an interface that can interface in this case it's a kind of like a Q&A system where the employees can pose the question and get it done. So that actual journey started in December 2000, to be more precise, December 14th, 2018, where we said, okay, let's build a brand called Proxzar. We'll incorporate it as formally as a private limited company. And that's where actually it started. Ramesh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was saying like, so the technology narrowed down to Q&A technology.
Yeah, Q&A system, NLP, question and answering systems, yes.
The question answering system. And then like, so at that point, okay, the employee use case that you mentioned is one. Were there other use cases that you identified in different domains?
Right. You're definitely, see, one important facet of our, like the startup is it's a platform. It is a platform, it's not product. And I was very, very conscious that I am not interested in building a product. Because building a product, then I have building a product or like say delivering it as a service. Honestly speaking, I don't have patience to gratify the self-interest of like say the people. I don't have patience either. So I said, okay, let me build a platform and say that, okay, hey, you have a platform. You guys, if you want to build a kind of Q&A system, just bring your content, dump it on our platform, and there you go, you can build it. So this Q&A system, while it sounds a kind of like a narrow technology, its use cases are very diverse. For example, when I was talking to, I think it is around same time, June 2018, to senior general manager IT at one of the premier pharma companies. So I met him and I explained him about the platform, and he was actually enthusiastic, saying that, hey, I think this whatever you're telling, it might be useful for our medical representatives who are actually positioned throughout India. So they have, like, say, these representatives located throughout the major Indian cities. And he said they invite these people for training every month when a new drug is being launched or for whatever reason to the headquarters in Hyderabad. So he said, actually, your technology, so our trainer, whoever, like, say, the particular trainer who is essentially training these people, so all the trainer has to do is that the trainer can actually, like, say, publish all the content onto your platform. And then if any medical representative in real time has a question located anywhere in India, he can actually ask this. So the Q&A system, though technically it sounds very, like, say, as a matter of fact, NLP itself is three: Q&A, and you talk of a statistical machine translation, basically even narrowing down to it's a Q&A and machine translation. So that's what it is. So Q&A itself, the use cases, I found it very diverse. Another use case is the online product catalog search. Like we want to, like, say, come out with like, say, when we walk into a physical brick and mortar store, we have, if you want to buy a product, you actually go there, walk into the store, and you have a sales guy helping you address all these questions. So now if you go to online, we have a fixed set of, like, say, options, option A, option B. Like, say, if I have to find, buy a mobile phone from, let us say, a Big C online store. So they have, like, say, what is the, like, say, the size, RAM, and that, all that, blah, blah, blah. For if I have, like, say, kind of, like, say, a filter, an option that says that, okay, I would like to buy an OLED screen. I want to buy a mobile phone with an OLED screen. OLED is not an option there, so it won't throw up unless and until you look into specifications. So another use case, what we thought is that, no, if we can actually simulate that kind of, like, say, user experience, or one a consumer who walks into, like, say, retail store and gets, as I sees the best experience talking to another human, the same thing can be simulated online, where you can actually ask this kind of, like, say, as a part of the Q&A, ask, okay, I want to have a OLED screen. Do you have it? Oh, the bot response, yeah, I have it. So what kind of, like, the size? It has a question. As a matter of fact, this is one of, like, say, the demos we published on our site. So the use cases are very diverse.
So how does this, I mean, like, where would you start to look for such use cases? I mean, like, so any experiences you've had in terms of where do you look for such use cases? Like, right, in this case, person answering system, how do you start what's the process of finding these use cases?
Yeah, that was a big challenge, Ramesh, honestly speaking. See, I'm a technologist. I was actually working in building this platform. I was actually looking for a guy, a marketing guy, who can actually, as a matter of fact, we did a lot of, like, say, digital marketing. We tried to, like, say, probe this kind of through stones in the dark, trying to find out where exactly it is hitting. So eventually we found that, okay, first let's actually try to find this kind of, like, say, the decision makers in e-commerce businesses, or the large businesses, or large distribution companies. Not in India, we did not target the Indian market. So we look for a large, like, say, the decision makers working in the large distribution companies in US and e-commerce companies. And we did very good, actually. As a matter of fact, we hired a digital marketing agency in US. They did a pretty good job in trying to generate this good number of leads, but we were too naive. We were honestly, we were too naive to believe that, okay, now we are able to, like, say, generate leads. You send out, like, a kind of, like, say, LinkedIn kind of, like, say, messages, and try to engage in a conversation. They'll ask for a demo, and then they'll sign up for the demo. And then based on that, we can, hopefully, we should be able to convert into lead. That bringing them to the demo stage did not actually happen. That's where we really failed. So as a short answer to your question, how did, with these use cases, how we went and found the actual people who are going to pay for that. So we essentially, step one, we shot in the dark. And then number two, the way we did it through the instrument of digital marketing. And we were pretty successful. The only failure is that we didn't had a foot soldier, the person, a foot soldier in the field who can actually say that, okay, this is the contact, this is the LinkedIn contacts, all these top level, they're all C-level executives working in big corporations in US.
So converting the lead to a actual close sale is where
That's
you
where we
had an
failed.
issue.
That's where we failed. Yes, yes.
Okay, so I think that's fantastic, and I mean, I think at very early stage, this is a challenge that every deep technology based startup will go through. Sometimes they get lucky in discovering a very strong replicable use case very early on. In other cases, you have to just look around because it's a technology product. You have to find the solutions that the technology can address, and sometimes you modify the product. So it's a journey. So nice to hear your story, Srikanth. So before we sign off, from your experiences, I mean, before Proxzar and also now through Proxzar, one growth hack tip that you would share with all startups?
Yeah, it's a team, Ramesh. It is a team, the founders team.
Huh.
The founder team is the one that actually I suggest my other founders to invest more time. There has to be a kind of like a proper chemistry, and the skills of the founders have to be supplementary. Now, I'm a technologist. Unfortunately, my other co-founder, he's an NRI. He's also a technologist. So that's where we were, as I said, I used the word naive. We were actually naive on how to, like, say, convert that lead into a sale. So we had no clue. We thought just like say dumping money and paying these guys will help us, but it didn't. So my honest, humble suggestion to my co-founders is that invest more time in finding the right co-founders with the complementary skills, not supplementary. I said, I use the word supplementary, wrong. So it's a complementary skills. So if I'm a technologist, look for marketing. Ultimately, a startup is successful when these, like, say, it's a marriage between technology and market. So that's what I suggest for my fellow co-founders.
Makes a lot of sense. I think the founding team is the one that is emotionally invested in the whole idea and the startup. Rest of them are all people that come in. They may stay for long, they may not. But the founding team or the founders especially are the ones. So I think having the right mix of experience in the founding, that's a very nice point, a very relevant point as well. So Srikanth, thank you so much for taking time off and joining us for this chat, and all the best in your journey.
Yeah. Thanks, you. Thanks, Ramesh. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to express.